Okay, everybody listen up.
The Rendezvous Show.
Rendezvous Show. Rendezvous Show.
Rendezvous Show.
Rendezvous Show. With Cris and Alysia. Here are your hosts, Cris and Alysia. Cris and Alysia.
Who's our next guest? We have somebody that's going to be calling in.
Yeah, we got somebody that's going to be calling in. He's David Seth Cohen. He has a Kickstarting campaign going on. He's got a movie that he's trying to produce. It's called Finding Sandler. I mean, he basically needs the money to produce the show, this movie, whatever.
I think he met the money, right? I think he got it.
Did he get it?
That's what we're going to be calling about. I mean, that's what we're going to be talking about. I think he's actually going to finally be able to find Sandler because I think he met his quota.
You would make it seem like, he was hiding in a cave or something, Sandler, huh?
Like Osama bin Laden, right?
Yeah,
well, that's how I kind of felt. That's how he was like Finding Sandler. Maybe he was like Osama bin Laden, but meaning Adam Sandler. But no, I think Seth found Sandler.
Really?
Or he's going to.
Well, I hope so, and I hope that when he produces this movie, he invites us to it.
Oh, he better invite us to it. If anybody missed it, I did a great write-up in Spot on Long Island magazine. I write for Christine and Joe Girani. They own Spot on Long Island magazine. Right now it's an online venue. You can find it at www.onlongisland.com. And I think the headliner is either my latest restaurant reviews that I've done, because I also do all the restaurants on Long Island, or you can go to the Finding Sandler article, and you can read a little bit about David Seth. Actually, Cris and I did the interview together, and it's a pretty cool interview, right, Cris? Was that your first interview that was ever published?
Yes, that was, and she invited me down, and we did a pretty nice interview. So I think we have someone calling in.
Maybe it's David Seth Cohen.
I don't think it's him, but let me check. We're good to go. Guess what? Guess who's on the line? David Seth Cohen.
Hello, David.
Hello. Good evening to you guys. How are you?
How you doing?
Great.
How you doing, David?
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, no problem.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So what happened? We did this huge write-up on you for Spot on Long Island. You were all over the map. So many venues that did write-ups. You were on radio shows. Tell us about the week that you had. It seems pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely been a busy week for me, and I'm really happy about it, to be quite honest. I've never been so busy, but it's a really cool busy, if you know what I mean.
Of course, I have those all the time, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Monday that you had posted the article on Spot on Long Island, and then Tuesday we actually hit our funding goal of $35,000, which was
congratulations.
Really fantastic. Yeah, thank you very much. And then on Wednesday, we actually made the news again on a New York magazine called Classics Modernes.
Yeah.
It's a really cool magazine, actually. The layout and everything is fantastic. On Thursday, I appeared as a special guest on a radio show that's actually based in Chicago. It's 88.3 WHCM. Called the show is called Chi-Town of the Big Apple, and that was pretty cool. And tonight I'm chatting it up with you guys over at the Rendezvous.
I know. Rockstar this week, and we are so proud. So tell us, you reached your goal on Kickstarter. Where do you go from here?
Well, we still have about 15 hours left. I think the campaign ends at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So we're actually still hoping to raise some more funds for the film. The production budget that we put out there of $35K was the actual absolute minimum that we needed. What we really were hoping for was more, of course, and what that doesn't cover, the 35, is legal fees and marketing and branding and travel and additional filming and distribution and all sorts of stuff like that. So we're hoping that anybody that's listening now will hop on board and contribute to the film. But yeah, no, we're really elated about the fact that we made this goal. It's awesome. It's such a great feeling when there are over 400 people backing you and giving their love and support to the project.
Oh, definitely. Now, I want to backtrack a little bit. I'd like you to tell all of our audience tonight. I want you to speak about the specific night, about that night when you passed up a drink with Adam Sandler. Can you tell that story for everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, Seth, before you say that, just tell us what this movie is going to be about, and then that'll lead into how you missed your drink with the...
Sure. Well, what Finding Sandler is really about is it's about my quest to have a drink with Adam Sandler, and it's a drink that I actually passed up in 1998 when I worked on the movie Big Daddy. So, that's what the movie's about. It basically follows me on my journey.
Okay, and tell us what happened on that fateful night when you went into his into his hotel or something like that.
Yeah, Adam had an apartment that they were leasing for him during Big Daddy, and he wanted to wear some clothing from the set to the premiere of The Waterboy, which was in Manhattan. And I worked for the costume designer. I was a production assistant, and she had asked me to do a couple things before I went home for the night. She said, first, can you take these clothes and drop them off at the front desk of Adam's building? Just give them the doorman. Second, can you take this girl Autumn home? She was another production assistant in my department. Third, just drop the car back off, and then you're free to go home for the night. So I went to Sandler's building. I went into, with the clothes up to the doorman. I handed them to him, but he was like, hey, just bring them up to him. So I knew I had Autumn waiting in the car. I went up to Sandler's apartment. I get to his door. I knock on the door, and behind the door, he starts messing with me. He's like, who is it? What do you want? I'm like, it's Dave. I'm just a PA. I'm here to deliver the clothes for the premiere tonight. So he opens the door finally, and he's got this huge smile on his face, and he's like, hey, man, you want to come in for a drink? And I froze, and I said, I can't. I got Autumn waiting in the car, and I got to get back down and take her home, and I got other things to do. And then it so happened that his assistant, John Loughran, who's also in a lot of his movies, was behind him. And I had known John from set. I would see him on the line at the breakfast truck, and we would just, BS every now and then. So he was like, hey, Dave, just come in and at least check out the balcony that he's got here. Right. So I went in. They had this wraparound balcony, in the place, and it was an unbelievable view from there. And I took it all in for a second, and I was like, listen, guys, I got to get going. And I left. Wow. And, so I never had that chance to hang out with him again.
So
that sucks.
So that's what this movie's about, basically.
Yeah, look, in a way, I feel like I did the right thing. I mean, there was a young lady in my car waiting in the middle of Manhattan. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, so there was no way to really contact her unless I went out of the building, got her, and brought her up, which is probably what I should have done. But, right. It was like kind of on the spot. I wasn't expecting it, and, so it's history.
Yeah, it's the heat of the moment. So most of us lose our footing in the heat of the moment. Trust me, been there a million times.
Yes.
Does Sandler know that you're chasing him?
I think he does know, yes.
He does know?
I would have to think that he knows by now, yes.
By now he's got to know. I heard that Michael Strahan saw your segment.
That's what I heard through a friend. Yes, I heard that he did.
Now, that's awesome. So outside of Finding Sandler, you have your own video company, you work for Telecare, you're producing other films. What are you about?
Well, I actually used to work for Channel 29. That was I actually resigned to make the film. So, but I do have my own production company. I do a lot of promotional videos for different kinds of clients. I do a lot of sporting events around Long Island and training videos and all sorts of stuff like that. I basically do whatever it does, whatever I could do to pay the bills.
Exactly. Now, what's the name of your production company, and where can we find you?
It's called Precision Pictures. Mm-hmm. And we're located out in Great Neck, and we have a YouTube channel that people could check out if they want to see any videos that we've done before. It's youtube.com/PrecisionPictures1.
Right.
We have Alysia. We have somebody on Facebook just send us a message. He wants to ask David, Billy. He doesn't say where he's from, but he says, "Were you in the Cupcake Wars? What's your favorite icing?"
That's so funny. I actually did a video for a guy, Bruce Zipes. He used to own a place called Bruce's Bakery. They had one in Great Neck. It was pretty famous around here. And there was one in Manhattan. and he had I met him at the gym actually. Every time, I'd be working out, he's like 65 years old and still at the gym in great shape. And, one day we just got to talking, and he's like, so, I told him what I do, and because he asked, and I happened to show him a rough trailer of Finding Sandler that I had, and he loved it. And every single time after that moment when I showed it to him, he'd always be like, Davey, what's going on with that movie, Davey? And so he actually got called by Cupcake Wars to put together a video. They wanted him to possibly be on the show if he was good enough. So he saw me at the gym. Davey, I need you to help me with something. So that's what happened. I basically I made a video for him to get on the show Cupcake Wars. Right. He actually got on the show from the video, and then when he got on the show, he got second place.
Oh, wow, wonderful. So
yeah,
you weren't
cool.
on the Cupcake Wars. But
no, I wasn't on Cupcake Wars myself, but I did get somebody on Cupcake Wars. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it was
totally awesome.
actually, it was a nice thing. I was really proud to have been a part of that, and it makes you also feel good that you're able to help other people out. And, I was really proud that Bruce got on the show.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Listen,
very nice.
You know what I wanted to ask you? Like, being a big movie buff that you are, like, what's your favorite line in a movie? I know mine.
Oh,
I know
God.
mine too.
That's a tough one. It's funny. I kind of posted something the other day on Facebook. If you've ever seen Goonies, there's a part where all the young guys are hanging out in Mikey's house, and there's that statue of the little naked guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
And the statue falls and breaks. And
I remember that part.
Yeah, and Mikey picks it up, and he picks up the penis that fell off, and he goes, "That's my mom's favorite piece." And Mouth comes back with the line, "You wouldn't be here if it wasn't." That's probably one of my favorite lines in all the in movies.
My favorite line. We
Exactly.
We just uploaded some of our favorite lines in a movie. It's got to be.
Yeah, I have
Goodfellas.
a favorite line tonight, thanks to Cris.
What's that? What line
Not
is
Cris
that?
Algieri, DJ Midlife, Cris, my Cris. I have a favorite line today.
All right. Here it is.
For the week. I think for the entire week we've been planning this show, and Cris has just been relentless. Relentless. There's no other word to say. So Cris,
I'm a ball buster.
Go ahead.
That's good. Me too. We probably get along really well.
Here you go.
Go bust my balls. Play the line, my favorite line from the movie that pertains to you.
Okay, here he goes.
Really funny. Really funny. What do you mean I'm funny? It's funny, it's a good story. It's funny. You're a funny guy. What do you mean? You mean the way I talk? What? It's just, you're just funny. It's the way you tell the story and everything.
Funny how? I mean, what's funny about it?
Tom, you got it all wrong.
Oh, Anthony. He's a big boy. He knows what he said. What'd you say?
You're right.
Funny how? What?
Just, you're funny.
You mean,
so?
Let me understand this, because maybe it's me, I'm a little fucked up, maybe. Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to fucking amuse you? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Not just, how you tell a story. What?
That's a favorite line. Is that a classic line or what from a movie?
Oh, without a doubt, Goodfellas is such an unbelievable movie.
I felt like Chris's clown all week. Cris and I have been inseparable for the past 3 weeks putting this show together, and I swear I was the come say dice? I was the joke of everything. No matter what we did, I was the joke. So when tonight we were together, he's like, "We're going to ask Seth his favorite movie." I go, "I got mine."
That's so good. Yeah, I love Goodfellas. I'm a huge fan of it. It's definitely one of my favorite movies. And I love when Joe Pesci starts shooting the gun and go, "Dance, Spider, dance."
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. There are so many classic lines in that movie, and in fact, the bar scene, that they filmed that scene in, is basically not too far from where I live. And you go inside and you're just transported back to the movie. It's amazing. They really didn't change anything on the inside. On the outside, they did. they've kept everything the same on the inside. It's amazing. You walk in and you feel like you're going to see Robert De Niro.
That's
you know
awesome.
What I mean? Yeah, it's incredible.
Is that the scene where Karen and what's his name? I'm sorry, Ray Liotta's character, Karen and Henry, when they walk through the basement into the place?
No, that's a different place. No, that's the club. That's the club.
Okay.
I'm talking about the bar scene where they go after the big heist. You know, after the big the heist that they did at Kennedy Airport.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Lufthansa heist.
Yeah. They basically go to that bar scene, and he tells one of the characters, De Niro tells one of the characters, he shows him the pink Cadillac. He goes, "Oh, look what I got." He goes, "Take it back." That bar scene right there.
That's
not
a great
too far.
scene.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Now, you know what I wanted to ask, speaking of movies, David, now we just had, the welterweight undefeated, I guess, champion, Cris on.
He's not a champion. He's not a champion.
Yeah, if you're going to be around, you should come to the fight. He's the undefeated welterweight.
He's not a champion, Alysia. He's the undefeated light welterweight boxer. He's not a champion yet.
Oh, okay. He was
a kickboxing champion, but he's not a champion in boxing right now.
Oh, but not in boxing yet. But who knows? Maybe he will be. February 23rd at the Paramount. He's going to be fighting. That Saturday. But what I want to, speaking of your favorite movies, what did you think of all the Rocky movies, or do you like any boxing movies?
Oh yeah, I mean, actually, I think Rocky is probably one of the greatest movies of all time. I mean, the best part about Rocky is it's such an underdog story, and how could you not love it? Like, how could you not love that character coming from nowhere and becoming a somebody? I mean, that's what it's all about, you know.
And can you see yourself? Can you see yourself in Rocky, being that you're trying to make a name for yourself? I mean, do you feel like that? Like, have you been knocked down a lot in life?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been knocked down a lot in life. I think pretty much everybody has. There are always people that'll tell you, "Oh, it's you're never going to make it. It's 1 in a million shot to make it in your industry." And those people drive you a little further to want to succeed more, because it's when you get knocked down, you want to get up. You want to learn from everything. And I try not to let the negativity of people bother me. I try and just turn it into a positive. And anybody that would say something negative, it's just more the reason why you want to succeed. Right.
I want to go into my favorite line of speaking of boxing movies. Actually, not boxing, but because I'm getting Raging Bull confused with this movie where this clip is from. This is from Taxi with Robert De Niro. This is my favorite line of I think all time.
You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking to? Talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
Is that a great line or what? I mean, that's amazing.
That's another classic.
I just said that yesterday at 7-Eleven.
It's another classic movie. It seems like you like a lot of Scorsese.
Yes, I love him. I mean, what's not to like? Everything he touches, I mean, it's like it turns to gold. You know what I mean? And Taxi, like I saw Taxi the other day, and I'm like, I could watch this movie over and over again. I mean, De Niro is just he's so raw yet talented in this movie. It's amazing, you know?
Yeah, Taxi Driver is definitely a classic. Definitely.
Yeah.
We had to watch a bunch of those in film school.
Right.
And it's funny how you guys brought in Goodfellas earlier. I did like a whole paper on that back in college. You know,
really?
We had to analyze different films, and you had to choose which one you want to analyze. And actually, that was the one I analyzed. There was a couple of amazing shots. Like I had mentioned the basement.
Right.
When they walked through that basement, the camera just went with them. It was a Steadicam shot that was like a minute and a half. So the amount of time it must have taken to pre-light that whole scene and get it right, it's just unbelievable.
You know, it's so funny that people don't realize, even like when you DJ as well, like people don't realize the intricacies that it takes to make a good mix. Tell us something that you had when you first went to film school, and tell us what film school you went to, and tell us what was your most difficult part of going to film school. Like what did you have the most problems with, and that you've conquered?
Well, I went to Towson University. I just did an undergrad, and I didn't actually go for a master's in film. But I majored in film and television. It was a mass communications major. As far as like hard film stuff, I learned to cut film. Excuse me, actually cutting the film. So like we shot on film, and then we had to splice the film and put it all to, splice it together. And It wasn't like today where you're editing on a computer. My senior year, we started editing on computers. But up until then, it was either reel-to-reel with like a VHS deck or cutting the actual film, and that was really hard. But, I mean, look, developing a story takes a long time. I mean, it could take years to put together a script that you're really happy with and that you want to try and get out there. And not only that, getting a crew together, you need to get the right people involved to help you out. So every little bit of filmmaking, to be quite honest with you, every bit takes time. It's not just one little thing. Every aspect takes time, and you can't do it alone. You need a team of people. I mean, and I'm talking like a team that's going to stand by you and help you all the way through.
It's funny that you say that. Alysia, we met Jenny Costa, right?
Yes.
We went to dinner with her. She gave us. I don't know if you know who Jenny Costa is. She's a KTU. She's a legend. She's been DJing since she was 14, and she's still DJing. You know what I mean? And she tells us about the progression of all the technology and how it's gotten easier for the DJ. Would you say the same thing about producing a movie?
Well, I don't think it's gotten necessarily easier, because if you're going to do a film right, like if you're going to do a narrative film, you still need to light the set. You see the whole scene. You need to light the scene. You need to have the same amount of people on hand as you would. The difference is it's more affordable now, because what happens is with the digital cameras out there now, you could purchase a digital camera for $5,000 or $6,000, and the image will be like unbelievable. Whereas back in the day, if you didn't have a film camera, you couldn't shoot. It was going to be nothing. But that's what's made it easier. But as far as the filmmaking process in itself, the process gets cut down a little bit, I think, now, because you don't have to develop the film and all those different steps. So a few steps get cut out. But again, the whole movie-making process in itself, shooting scenes, lighting scenes, editing and all that, it's still a ton of work.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Now, Cris was telling me before that you guys had a little conversation during the week, and that speaking of film and the arts and the media, that you might have had a little dabbling in the radio business. So speaking that this is our first radio show, can you partake in a conversation about your experience in radio?
Well, I wouldn't actually call what I did a radio show.
Oh, and this one time at band camp?
Hello?
Get it.
Oh, and this one time at band camp?
I'm just cueing your camp story.
Yeah, that's so funny. Cris and I did speak. I wouldn't call it a radio show. What it was is, I guess in my own kind of way, it was a radio show. I went to sleepaway camp. I was about 11 years old, and late at night in the bunk when everybody was sleeping, I used to do this little show. I called it the David Cohen Show, and we would do it like once. Thanks. We would do it like once or twice a week, and I would have different guests from the bunk come in, and I would talk to them, and there would be like a crowd of, people around listening to the little show, and we recorded on cassette tapes. And unfortunately, I don't have any of the cassettes, or I would play it for you guys now. But I'll tell you, it was actually really fun. I always, when I was a kid, and it's probably, I don't know if I should say this, but my dad used to listen to Howard Stern, and when I would go to work with him in the car, we would be listening to Howard Stern on the radio. And so I always, I love Howard. I think his show is hilarious. So I always kind of was like, that would be fun to have my own little show. So somehow, I don't know how, one night I just said, hey, I'm going to do this little radio show, and people wanted to be on it, and that was it. Did you have a sidekick? Did you have a sidekick that would sit at the end of the couch? No, I was the guy. It was like, you were the guy? Yeah, it was just me and whoever the guest was, and that was really it.
That's hilarious.
Now, why do we refer to you as David Seth Cohen, but back then when you did your little radio gig, you were only David Cohen?
Well, my full name is David Seth Cohen. It's my birth
That's
name.
a great name. Chris and I were talking about that before.
I want to. You know what it was?
Name.
Before you answer, David, this is what happened. Me and Alysia had a conversation, right? We've been you and I have been in communication on Facebook, whatever. And I remember one conversation we had. I go. I don't know if I said David Seth Cohen. I said Seth or whatever. You were like,
yeah, you called me
Seth.
That's
my middle name. I'm like, I don't know how to take that. Does he want me to call it, or does he want me to call him Seth? Does he not want me to call him Seth? Like, I didn't know how to take it, you know. So I was like, I asked Alysia. I go, Alysia, should I call him Seth? Should I call him David? What should I call him?
Well, I said, call him David Seth Stern. David Seth Stern, yeah. David Seth Cohen, that's a hot name.
Wait. That's a Freudian slip. What's up with that? David Seth. That's amazing.
Well,
are you married to him already?
No, are you single?
I'm dating somebody right now.
Oh, you are dating somebody right now. Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Hey, we have we got a message on Facebook. This is pretty funny. I know you'll take it good because you know you're into comedy, right?
Yeah.
Casey from Lido Beach said, "What kind of camp did you go to? Was it fat camp?"
No, I've actually never been really overweight.
Right.
I've had my chunky days, but those were few and far between.
I'm having mine now.
No, I actually went to Camp White Oaks, and it's actually cool that you guys brought that up. Our camp closed down years back, and there's so many great people that I met at Camp White Oaks. And actually, I wonder if any of them are listening right now, but one of them is actually one of my friends, Blake Ian. He's a musician.
Right.
So people should definitely check out his music, 27productions.com.
Right.
Blake Ian is awesome. He went to my camp, and there are a lot of other great people that came out of there.
Right. I was going to ask.
I have a question. I actually got a private text message from Diane. Diane Mulvey. She is. Diane and I actually met on the scene on the Discovery Channel, Discovery Investigations Channel. We're going to be airing live, but I think it's February 26th on Discovery. We're doing one of their crime scene investigation shows. It is called Dirty Little Secrets. But
Very
Diane
cool.
is texting me now. Yeah, she wants to know. Another question is, do you have a release date set yet for whether it's for Finding Sandler or for any of your up-and-coming movies? Any new release dates in 2013 that we can look forward to seeing you?
I would love to say yes, but at this point we don't have a specific date for release yet. But people could continue to check back onto our Finding Sandler website, the official site, which is findingsandler.com.
Okay.
And eventually, within the next few weeks, most likely, we'll be launching the site, and we'll keep updating everybody on the progress with Finding Sandler. We have a lot of footage to go through. There's over 90 hours of footage to cut together. Plus, we're planning on shooting some more stuff. So there's a lot to do.
David, you never answered my question. Do you want me to call you Seth?
You could call me Dave or David. I usually pretty much answer to anything.
All right.
So, it's really your call. But Dave or David is usually what everybody calls me.
I'll call you Dave, man. I'm just busting your chops.
All right.
Can
I call you Christine? No.
Sure. Listen, I grew up in when I was going to elementary school. Like my teachers just called me Christine because they thought
hilarious.
because it looks like a female name. I can understand it, so I'm used to it.
No, you got the little O on the end, man. That's cool.
Now, I've been doing a lot of baking lately, so I may enter my own cupcake wars. Can I call you to do the video?
Sure. Give me a shout.
All right, I'll give you a shout-out, Mr. David Seth Cohen. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Can you give us all your links before we end?
Yeah, sure. If people still want to donate to our Kickstarter, like I said, we have roughly 13 hours to go. And they could go to either Kickstarter and search for Finding Sandler, or they could just go to findingsandler.com, click on my face. It'll take them right to the Kickstarter page, and they could donate right there. If people want to check us out on Facebook, they could go to facebook.com/Finding Sandler. If they want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Finding Sandler. If they want to follow me on Twitter, it's at David Seth Cohen 1, the number 1. And I think that's it.
Hey, Dave, you better invite us to the premiere of this movie when it comes out.
Yes, of course.
You know? But it was
yeah, we better be invited. I'll be insulted if we're not, Mr. Cohen.
Well, listen, you know how many people say that to me. No, but you guys are great. I'd love to have you.
Yeah. So it was a pleasure speaking with Seth. Everybody, David Seth Cohen. I keep calling you Seth, and I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
It's just I like the name. It's not because I love Seth. I don't know what it is. But
I promise I'll get over it.
All right. But yeah, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for being a good sport and answering all our questions. And hopefully, if you want to come on again, you're more than welcome, man. Anytime you want to come on, just shoot us a text or shoot us a message on Facebook. Again, we could be reached at the Rendezvous radio show on Facebook. Like the page and send us messages. So far, everybody's been great. They've been sending us questions for our host, for our guests, and you guys have been great. Thank you for listening. We're going to take a little musical break now. But Seth, again, thank you very much for coming on.
All right, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Stay close. Stay in touch.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.